I'm Tacomaholic, and some of the things I love are Tacomas, obviously, 17th century French poetry, and long walks on the beach. A few of the things I hate are soy, veggie burgers, and thieves.
You filthy little thieves.
What's going on, everybody? Hope you are having a fantastic weekend like I am. So today I will be going over a lock mechanism kit that you can easily install in your bed storage compartments and turn those into locking containers. Of course, I don't think anyone's really keeping anything valuable back there, but this is certainly something to keep the thieves at bay at least a little bit. As we all know, though, thieves will get your stuff if they really want it, but this is just one thing you can do that's relatively easy to just make it that much harder for them. Before we get started, just like to send Jake at Fabrication Tools and Materials a quick shout out, thanking him for sending me the kit out quickly. And if you are interested in picking up this kit, I will link both to the kit on Amazon and Fabrication Tools and Materials website in general down in the description below. The kit does come with two of the locking mechanisms, and as you can see right here, I have already installed the one for the smaller cubby on the passenger side of the bed. And for the driver's side cubby, it is much larger, and it does have two of the turning mechanisms, and one of these will be replaced with the lock. And as you can see on mine, I do keep some bungee cords in here, and if a thief ever got in here and took one of my bungee cords, I might just lose my shit. In addition to the kit you will receive, you just need a few tools to do this install. First up, you do need a basic Phillips head screwdriver, needle nose pliers, some kind of small hand file. I prefer to use a Dremel for the cutting parts with a small grinding bit to grind down some plastic, and then a cutting bit. If you do not have a Dremel tool, you can certainly get away with using some kind of small hacksaw. And then of course, if you are using the Dremel, make sure you have hearing and eye protection. For the first step, once you get the actual cover removed, you are going to go ahead and remove the factory assembly. On the driver's side, it does have two, so just pick which one you want to go with. I'm going to use the one on the right, so you just flip that over. You can see right here it does have a regular Phillips screw, so go ahead and remove that. And the whole thing comes off like that, so you can go ahead and chunk this. You're no longer needing these. For the next part, you do need to take your file, or preferably your Dremel, and you can see the locking part. It does not quite fit through the factory hole right there. So you are going to take your Dremel, and from both the back and the front side, just sort of smooth it out just a little bit at a time, because you do not want to make this too loose so this just drops in there. You want to make it just big enough, and I'm probably talking about just an extra 1/16 of an inch on the diameter to be able to push this in firmly. And once you do that, go ahead and take the Dremel with the cutting attachment and go ahead and lop off this plastic tab right here. Okay, and there's the finished product for that. Again, do not make the inside plastic hole larger than you need it, just so it's tight enough that you really have to push this through hard. You can see right there, it is on flush on the bottom of the plastic right there. And then that's what it looks like on the back side with that tab cut off. When you go ahead and put this in for the first time, go ahead and orient it so the lock is in the horizontal position, parallel to the ground. If you get it in there and it's a little off, you can just take your needle nose pliers and sort of adjust it to either side as needed. Next up, you are going to secure the locking mechanism with the locking nut here. It is smooth on one side and grooved on the other. Hopefully that's coming up on camera. When you put this on, you do want to make sure the groove side is pointing out here on the back. So you'll just twist it down on the threads as far as you can get it. You definitely don't want to over tighten this. Once you get it as far as you can with your hand, give it a grab with your needle nose pliers and just give it a little twist to secure that. Next up, you are going to go ahead and remove the Phillips head screw that's holding everything together. When you do, just be careful not to do it too fast, because some of this stuff can fall out, and the way it's positioned right now is perfect. And it's easiest just to do this with the piece sitting on your tailgate or whatever your workbench is. That way nothing's going to fall out. So when you take the screw out, the little gear will come with it. And then for the next step, you are just going to take the cam lever. You can see it's grooved right there. Orient that correctly and then just screw that down. So the starting position, when you screw this down, don't let it get backwards. So you can see you want this in the open position when you're starting out. So you can see I'm doing it this one. Open is on this side. So when I flip it around, I need to put the cam gear so it's sloped. You can see it's angled right there. So it's sloped to the open side, which is on the right side now that it's upside down. And do that so the slope is going downward. Hopefully that made sense. It sounded good in my head. Just sort of start it by hand and hold the cam lever in the open position so it doesn't slide around. And then again, just tighten it by hand with your screwdriver. Again, just hand tight is good, don't overdo it. Okay, and the next step is to go ahead and test it out. So if you did everything correctly, this should work without a hitch. Go ahead and take your key, insert it in the slot right there. Put the feet in the bottom just like normal. And if you installed the cam gear correctly, it should lock without a hitch like that, because there is a slot up here in the bed frame, in the composite bed material, where that latch is gonna locate. First time I did it on the opposite side, I did do mine backwards, so that did not work. So just take your time, you know, all these pieces, it's easy to get everything confused. So once it locks, there you go, locking storage container. All right, everybody, that does it for this video. If you found it useful, please comment, like, and subscribe. What?